Imagine if I told you that your lack of self-care had nothing to do with discipline, but everything to do with survival mode. I've learned that there is no face mask that can meet your basic needs. Let's discuss. Welcome to Creatively Well. If you are new here, my name is Chantel and I am in grad school for art therapy. So a lot of concepts have been coming to the forefront for me, and one of those is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That theory has stood out to me over the past few years and has really come full circle now that I'm in grad school for art therapy, learning a lot about psychology. Being a woman of color, I know firsthand that survival mode is very prevalent for a lot of us. And with that said, if you're operating out of survival mode, there is no way that a face mask or a bubble bath is going to meet those basic needs. If you have not covered your basis and your foundation, there is no room to do these excessive self-care things, even getting your nails done. So by the end of this video, you'll understand how Maslow's hierarchy of needs can actually be in the way of your self-care routine. And it's not all about the aesthetic of it. Sometimes you really do have to deal with the basic foundational things before you can get into those more superficial acts of self-care. So let's dive into the truth about self-care that no one really talks about. A lot of people talk about the self-care products, okay? And I get it. That's the way a lot of people make money on social media. However, it's hard to even think about that when your basic needs aren't met, when you don't know when your next meal is coming, you don't know when your next paycheck is coming, you don't even know if you can pay your rent this month. These are basic needs that are the first layer of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's all about your physiological needs, your shelter, your sleep, your safety, your food. Like, these are the basic needs, and nobody can really think about taking a bath if you are worried about your safety. If you are still on the basic physiological level, there is no way to get there and feel comfortable and safe and really allow yourself to take in the various levels of self-care that is marketed in the media. And as always, if you are new here, then you might hear some noises in the background. If you are not new here, then you know my dog Sarabi is not too far and she is over here cleaning herself, of course, during me recording this video. But anyway, let's continue the conversation. So now we'll segue into the Black experience. Being a Black woman, I started off my life in more of the struggle side of life, and so it was a lot of survival mode there. But after moving on up to the east side, I started to experience life differently. I started to feel safer. I started to build community, have a sense of belonging, and things like that. Of course, I was going through adolescence. Does anybody feel a sense of belonging in adolescence? You know what? Some people do. Never mind that. That's another video. So I want to talk about the Black experience and survival mode. The thing about the Black experience is that it's not just about us being able to get a job, to sustain ourselves, to have safety. It's not just about the neighborhood you live in for us. It's also about the microaggressions or the various experiences we have from being Black. So even if you are in maybe a Black community where you feel safe and you feel protected, you might deal with the white supremacy that has seeped into your community, and nobody really talks about that. And that is something that I think gets in the way of us truly operating and flourishing. We start to feel this sense of capitalism that makes us feel like we have to do more to be worthy. And then you go to be in a white space and you have to worry about microaggressions. Am I really safe here? There are a lot of anxieties that come with the Black experience. You work so hard to get out of poverty, to get your family out of this situation, but then you worry about this new environment that you're in. There are levels of safety that we have to figure out that are different. It takes us being in therapy consistently. It takes us building our own community. It takes us having friends and family to talk to. It takes us looking for resources that help us. If you are in poverty, of course you're looking for food banks. You're looking for opportunities. And right now, with all of the things happening in the political climate, we are now experiencing life differently than before. Yes, our ancestors went through a lot, and we too are going through a lot. Like, it is an everyday experience where we tend to look over our shoulders. So now that you've built your community and you feel a connection and a grounding in your existence here on earth, Next, you want to go into your esteem. This is when you get into what the world calls self-care. All those other things also matter. The reality is it's hard to get into this level of esteem and grounding in yourself without the community, without your basic physical needs met, without your safety, levels of security. Without those, it's hard to get into the extra layer of really caring for yourself and giving yourself confidence and feeling empowered in your life. That's what this level is about. This is about, do I feel proud in the things that I've accomplished? Along with feeling proud, do you set your boundaries? Do you feel confident enough to say, no, I don't like that. That doesn't work for me. Do you feel that level of confidence? That in itself is building your esteem. It's building your relationship and your trust within yourself to protect yourself, to go above and beyond. But before you can get to that point, you need your community. You need that rallying around you. I don't know about y'all, but it's like when you go into your family or your friends' arms after having a hard time, and then they encourage you, they speak life into you, and then you go back into life pumped up. You're ready to set your boundaries. You're ready to realize how special you are, how much you should take good care of yourself, and therefore you have to require those around you to take good care of you. So when your loved ones make you feel super special, maybe you have to go beyond those initial loved ones that are in your closest layer and set a boundary in order for you to feel safe with them coming closer. Maybe if you set the boundary, then they have an understanding of what line not to cross, and if they cross it, you know where to put them. So you pick which side of the boundary you want. Oh, okay. So yes, this layer is all about building your self-confidence, your self-esteem. And then we get to the next level, which is actually arguably my favorite, because this means you have met all of your other needs and you have graduated to your self-actualization level. This is where you really get into manifesting. So self-actualization is really along the lines of what is also marketed. This is where you go to spa days. This is where you get more creative. This is where you start to bring forth things into the world that are from your unique, authentic lens. This is where you find what your unique contribution is to the world and you give it. You get creative, you flourish, you brainstorm new ideas because you're safe, you're loved, you have a confidence about yourself. And now you could do a self-care mask and go to the spa day, take your self-care bath, and still feel empowered to just go into the world and flourish. Okay? This is also the level where manifestation happens, vision boards happen. You can actually think beyond your current circumstance because you've taken care of those other layers. This is self-actualization. This is where you have your spiritual practices. Some people go to church for their spiritual practices. That is a part of building your community. But you get to build a closer relationship with God, with the universe, with all of the things around you and in you. From a creative lens, you get to create new ideas beyond where you currently are. And that in itself is flourishing. The reality is that self-care is not one layer. It is not just physical things. It's multi-layered. It's literally something that you have to climb at your own pace. I don't think that we consider that enough. If you are still in survival mode, it's hard to be thinking about your big vision when you are going through so much in your day-to-day and trying to feel safe. When I was in such a low moment, like mentally, it was because my foundation was uprooted. My foundation in like connection and community. I was on that level of struggling with like various relationships and trying to find my footing and feel loved. You know, I think that's so important to feel loved on this journey. And that's another reason why spaces like YouTube are so important, because there are a lot of people who feel lonely in their world and they're allowed to come to communities on YouTube, on various platforms, and feel like a sense of belonging. For example, people on TikTok and YouTube will sometimes support you more than your own loved ones. That's why I created a YouTube membership, because I wanted to build a closer community. I wanted us to be more close-knit than before. I think when I make these videos, it feels surface level. We comment back and forth, but there's something different about having a closer community where you can go live together. You could talk about your self-care wins and all the various ways we are pouring pouring into ourselves so that we pour into the world in excess. So go ahead and click join below if you are interested in building community and just getting a closer knit circle around you. If you're not ready to join memberships, no worries. Go ahead and like this video so another woman like us can find this video and understand that it's not exactly her fault that she can't get to this level of self-care that people push on us from the media. If you made it this far, make sure you give me an orange heart in the comments, but also I'm gonna go ahead and give you a journal prompt to get you started, okay? So go ahead and grab your pen and paper. You got it? Oh, okay. All right. I was just checking. So your journal prompt for today is, which level of my self-care pyramid do I need to tend to right now? And what's one thing I can do to honor that need today? If you would like, feel free to comment what level you're on and what you're going to do about it. We'll continue to discuss in the comments. If you are new here, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. More videos like this are coming because I want to continue this conversation around self-care and wellness from a genuine holistic lens, because we are all living different lives and need different things. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.